Hello and welcome to Craft of the Drafts Club by Club Coates Talent League season previews. And today's episode, we're looking at the GWV Rebels and what they'll have in store for us for 2025. To do so is alongside me is Craft of the Draft analyst Jonty Ralph-Smith. Jonty, how are you?
Yeah, very good. Looking forward to analysing GWV after a very successful 2024 campaign, both win-loss and with the number of players drafted.
Yeah, well, we saw that great run to the grand final, and along with it came plenty of stories that saw draft bolters emerge in the second half of the season. They probably entered the league with a couple of top 10 fancies, and by the end of it, a trio of first-round selections and a total of 6 players taken in the national and rookie drafts, headlined by draft duck Sam Lawler. We've already seen star for Richmond in his debut, but plenty of other names in Ollie Hannaford, Jonty Fall, Reece Unwin, Jacko, and Harry Charlson as well. So it was a great crop for the GWV Rebels last year, and they'll be hoping to do much of the same in 2025. And maybe one name that will be of great focus will be Harley Hicks this year, a player who just oozes excitement. And again, will look to just take that next step as he enters his draft campaign.
Yeah, he certainly will. He's one who showed so much excitement. The word that you used is perfect at the under-16s national championships, playing for Vic Country, and then had a little bit of an interrupted 2024, suffered a concussion injury early in the year, which sort of held him back. But then I think we saw him start to get back to his best in the finals run that the GWV Rebels did have. He was a key catalyst of that. And I think that was really important for him to get back towards his best footy. He's a high half forward who has the capacity to kick goals, gets up the field as well, and uses the footy quite cleanly. He's got an excellent athletic profile too. He's good at getting separation on a lead, and he's very, very dynamic at ground level as well. So everything you want is sort of a high half forward, small forward type of player. And I think we'll see him get some midfield minutes as well and show what he can do around the footy, winning some contested balls. So, yeah, I think the horizon is bright for Harley Hicks.
Another player who's in the Vic Country Summer Hub squad is Archie Taylor, a player who has a need for speed and a player that you're really excited about for the year ahead.
Yeah, I am. So at GWV, they're really, really excited about what he could become. There's always a great level of excitement when they talk about him. He ran the fastest 20-meter sprint at the 2024 Coates Talent League testing day. So he's the fastest player in the league over 20 meters last year. And yeah, he certainly showed that as a consistent ball winner and user off the half back line, gets up the field, and then, sets the game up quite well because he's silky skilled. And I think we'll see much of the same from him in 2025. He might get some midfield minutes as well, or even play on the wing with his running capacity. But yeah, the ball use combined with the speed is a great place to start, and he certainly has both attributes in spades.
Top of Hicks and Taylor, who are some of the other top age GWV talent that you're kind of keen to focus on ahead of the 2025 season?
Yeah, I think the other two clear ones worth bringing up are Charlie McKinnon. So he showed some nice signs through the middle of the year, in particular last year, and then was squeezed out in the finals campaign just as a result of GWV's brimming depth with those top ages that you referenced earlier. But he's a very, very good marking player. He marks very, very much above his sort of mid-180s frame and has the ability to win one-on-ones as well, and tends to make the most of his chances. A good set shot goal kick. Probably the next step for him would be to impact a little bit more when the ball does hit the ground, given the size that he's at. He's not going to be able to be that sort of one-out player or key forward at AFL level. So that's the next step in his game. And then Sinclair Burmeister has well represented the GWV Rebels at the under-16s national championships. He showed a little bit on the wing last year, but yeah, we'll be looking to build on that no doubt this year as a good ball user and someone who's quite disciplined. And then Sam Nicholas, another who featured in the under-17s trial match for Vic Country last year. He's going to play some APS footy mixed in as well, but he'll be looking to play some strong footy when he's at the Rebels.
Well, you mentioned Sinclair Burmeister, but what about his brother Floyd coming back for another year? Him and Flynn Penry, a couple of key position options who will have a chance to put their names forward as mid-season draft hopefuls. Do you see Also probably considered unlucky not to be drafted last year. So where do you see them? What do you see that they could bring this year again for the GWV?
Yeah, I can't believe that Floyd Burmaster's not on an AFL list. It astounds me. I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes in 2025 after that disappointment, because he was certainly on a few clubs' radars. He's the sort of player who is very, very raw still, but he's got the ability to do things that you simply can't teach. He's kicked goals from 50. He's got the ability to sort of get away from traffic, the sort of things that you associate with 180, 182 centimetre midfielders, and he does them playing almost 200 centimetres. So the ability to really impact when the ball hits the floor is a real strength of his. He's probably someone who would want to develop his ability to take marks around the ground if there is a next step for him. We saw him at times crash packs, but not necessarily be able to bring the marks down last year. And then B, there was a lot of conjecture, I think, from clubs about his best position. Some saw him as a forward, some saw him as a ruck, some saw him as a centre half back, which is where he played his junior footy. And I think there were even some others who wanted to see him exposed on a wing, which he did play actually in the second half of that Coates League grand final. But I think he establishes himself up forward this year, and really shows what he can do both in the air and when the ball hits the ground. And then Flynn Penry is one who certainly led the charge in that September campaign for the GWV Rebels. He's been training at Port Melbourne over the pre-season, but they've got a Jane Quolman who will lead the ruck department there. So he's unlikely to feature much for the Borough. He'll ply his trade at the Rebels and will hope to build on a strong September campaign. And he was also part of the Vic Country squad in 2024.
Will Rantel, a name that'll be familiar to some, his older brother Jay getting drafted to Collingwood several seasons ago. One who will be an overager, but certainly still on the radar of clubs, you reckon?
Yeah, I hope so. And I do tend to think so. He's one who got a little bit of attention late last year. He got a state combine invite, and he's a really good one-on-one defender, sort of about 190 centimetre height. He just had a little bit of an injury-interrupted campaign and probably didn't quite find his best footy consistently enough. And then when he finally did in the back end of the year, it was probably just a little bit too little too late in a strong draft crop. So, hopefully he comes back, plays some consistent footy, gets a good run at it, and then is able to show what he can do and maybe put himself there or thereabouts in mid-season or end-of-season draft radars.
What about a bottom major? Who's the name that we should be keeping an eye on over at GWV for the next 18 months?
Tessie Duckleen would be the main one. He's someone who's quite raw. He's got X-factor potential, and he's someone who can make things happen. Not necessarily the highest disposal player that they'll have on their list, but you'll certainly notice him when he gets the ball in his hands. So looking forward to seeing how he develops in 2025.
Well, GWV, their season doesn't get started in round one. They'll have to wait till round two, and they'll have a clash against fellow countryside Geelong Falcons on Saturday, April 5 in Ballarat. So that'll be certainly one to look forward to. Jonty, thanks again for covering everything for GWV.
No worries. Thanks, Mitch.
You can catch all of our other Coates Talent League previews on zerohanger.com and our YouTube page. And for the latest news, views, and opinions, head to zerohanger.com as well.